In the sprawling metropolis of Neo-Tokyo Prime, nestled among the towering skyscrapers and neon-lit alleyways, humanity teetered on the brink of a new era. The city, a pulsating hub of technology and cosmopolitan life, had become the forefront of human civilization's expansion beyond the Earth. However, this progress had not come without its own set of challenges and dangers. Amidst the chaos of interstellar negotiations and the everyday hustle of the city, there was a growing sense of unease. Rumors had begun to spread about encounters with extraterrestrial beings known as the Vrilics, a race from a distant star system. The Vrilics were said to be both mesmerizing and terrifying, with abilities that bent the human mind and technology that dwarfed even the latest human innovations. At the heart of these rumors was Leo Stravinsky, a seemingly ordinary engineer with an extraordinary secret. Unlike his fellow citizens, Leo was not just aware of the Vrilics. He had become intricately involved with them. One late evening, as the city hummed with the energy of unending activity, Leo found himself walking down a dimly lit street in one of the less reputable parts of Neo-Tokyo Prime. The air was thick with the smell of ozone and street food, a combination that somehow comforted him amidst the growing tension. Suddenly, the eerie calm was shattered by a sharp, sibilant voice calling out from the shadows. "Leo," it hissed, the sound slicing through the buzz of the city. Leo tensed, his heart racing. He turned slowly to face the owner of the voice, a figure shrouded in darkness, barely visible against the backdrop of flickering neon lights. As his eyes adjusted, the figure stepped forward, revealing its true form. The creature before him was undeniably Vrilics. Standing nearly 7 feet tall, with skin that shimmered like liquid silver under the artificial light, the Vrilics exuded a kind of ethereal beauty that was almost hypnotic. Its eyes, large and luminous, held a depth that seemed to pull at Leo's soul. "We need you, Leo," the creature said, its voice a mixture of command and seduction. "You alone satisfy a hunger that has grown within us." Leo swallowed hard, his mind racing. He knew what this meant. The Vrilics, for all their advanced technology and intelligence, required something from humans that was not tangible or easily explained. It was something emotional, something primal, and Leo had somehow become the key to fulfilling this bizarre need. "Why me?" Leo managed to ask, his voice steady despite the pounding of his heart. "You possess a unique resonance, a frequency of emotion that is nourishing to us," the Vrilics explained, tilting its head as if studying him. "Your fear, your courage, it is unlike any we have encountered." Leo felt a chill run down his spine. To be hunted not for flesh but for feelings was a fate he had never imagined. Yet, there was a part of him, perhaps the reckless part, that was intrigued by the power he seemed to hold over these alien beings. "What do you want from me?" he asked, his curiosity getting the better of his fear. "Join us," the creature said simply. "Help us understand your kind, satiate our curiosity, and in return, we offer you knowledge and power beyond your wildest dreams." The offer was tempting, dangerously so. Leo knew that to accept would mean stepping into a world of unknowns, risking his sanity and possibly his life. But to refuse? As he stood there, contemplating his next move, Neo-Tokyo Prime seemed to hold its breath, waiting for his decision. The city, vibrant and alive, was unaware of the cosmic games being played in its shadows. With a deep breath, Leo stepped forward, choosing the path of the unknown. "I'm in," he said, his voice a mix of defiance and resignation. The Vrilics smiled, a gesture that was at once beautiful and terrifying. "Welcome, Leo. Let us explore the depths of your emotions together." And with that, they vanished into the night, leaving the city none the wiser to the pact that had just been made. Leo's journey with the alien Temptresses had just begun, and it promised to be as harrowing as it was exhilarating. As Leo melded into the shadows with his Vrilics guide, the thrum of Neo-Tokyo Prime faded into a distant hum. They moved swiftly, not towards the usual haunts of humankind, but towards a zone whispered about in the darkest corners of the city, the nexus. Here, the Vrilics had established a clandestine bridgehead, invisible to all but those with the right frequency, a gateway between worlds that defied the physics Leo had spent a lifetime mastering. The air grew denser as they approached, charged with an electric tension that made the hairs on Leo's neck stand. The nexus was not just a place, it was an amalgamation of energies, both alien and terrestrial, coalescing into a portal that pulsed with a blue glow. The Vrillix stopped at the threshold, turning to him with eyes that shimmered with 1,000 unspoken thoughts. "This is where you help us," the Vrillix said, gesturing to the portal. "Beyond here, your emotions are the key. They resonate in ways that power our technologies and deepen our understanding of your species." Leo took a tentative step forward, his gaze fixed on the swirling energies of the portal. He could feel a pull, a literal drawing out of emotions that had lain dormant within him, fears and hopes alike stirred into a vibrant, chaotic symphony. As they crossed into the nexus, the world shifted. The cityscape melted away into a vast chamber, its architecture a blend of organic curves and technologically advanced structures that seemed grown rather than built. The air was thick with a fragrance that was both alien and intoxicating, enhancing the sensory overload that Leo was experiencing. Here, in the heart of the Vrillix operation, Leo saw them in their element. Beings of various shapes and sizes moved about, their forms fluid and their movements graceful. Screens floated in the air, displaying data in a script that danced before his eyes, elusive and complex. A particularly eminent Vrillix, adorned with luminescent markings that signified high status, approached Leo. "Your emotional spectrum is rich," it observed, its voice resonating not just in the air but within him. "Fear, awe, curiosity, they blend into a potent essence that fuels our systems here." Leo, understanding his role more with each passing moment, focused on maintaining a calm despite the whirlwind of emotions trying to surface. Each emotion, he realized, was a pulse of energy tapped by the Vrillix for reasons beyond mere consumption. It was a communion. "What do you seek from us, humans?" Leo asked, his question cutting through the ambient murmurs of the chamber. "We seek harmony," the eminent Vrillix replied. "Your world and ours are connected more deeply than you know. The energies you call emotions are akin to what powers the heart of our civilization. But there is imbalance, and we strive to understand it, to correct it before both our worlds face consequences." Leo's mind raced. This was no simple exchange. It was a pivotal engagement that might determine the fate of not just two species, but two worlds interconnected by the fabric of unseen forces. The Vrillix offered him a device, small and intricate, designed to interface directly with his neural pathways. "This will allow you to communicate more profoundly with our systems, to truly integrate your emotional spectrum with our technology," the Vrillix explained. With a mixture of trepidation and resolve, Leo accepted the device, allowing its tendrils to connect with his temples. Immediately, a rush of images, sounds, and emotions flooded through him, alien memories, hopes, and fears mingling with his own. He was not just a visitor, he was a bridge. As the connection deepened, Leo began to see not just the alienness of the Vrillix, but their similarity to humanity. Their fears of extinction, their hopes for a future, their quest for understanding, all mirrored the human condition, albeit through a vastly different lens. In that chamber, surrounded by beings so different yet so familiar, Leo realized that his role was not just to satiate an alien hunger, but to forge a bond that could save both their peoples. Leo's integration with the Vrillix technology proved more profound than he had anticipated. With each passing moment, his senses expanded beyond the ordinary confines of human perception. The device linked to his neural pathways allowed him to perceive the underlying currents of the nexus, where emotions and energies intertwined to create a tapestry of thought and intention that was entirely alien yet intimately familiar. As he navigated this new existence, the boundaries between his individuality and the collective consciousness of the Vrillix began to blur. Leo found himself accessing memories and knowledge that spanned centuries and galaxies, each memory imprinted with the emotional residue of its bearer. Through this vast network, he came to understand the Vrillix not as invaders or predators, but as seekers of balance, driven by a cosmic imperative to restore harmony to an increasingly dissonant universe. The challenge, however, grew more daunting as Leo delved deeper into the Vrillix psyche. He encountered nodes of trauma and conflict, echoes of ancient battles that had left scars on the Vrillix soul. These were not merely historical records but living memories that influenced every decision the species made. The pain they carried was a heavy burden, one that threatened to overwhelm Leo's human sensibilities. To navigate this, Leo had to reach into the depths of his own emotional spectrum, tapping into the reservoirs of empathy and courage that had defined his life. He used these as anchors, allowing him to explore the alien memories without losing himself to them. Amidst this exploration, a particular memory strand drew him in, a pivotal event that had shaped the Vrilix's understanding of other species. It was a first contact gone tragically awry, where fear and misunderstanding had led to bloodshed on both sides. This memory was a nexus point for the Vrilix, a source of their deep-seated fear of and fascination with other sentient beings. Understanding this, Leo initiated a bold plan. He sought to create a new memory, a new experience that could be shared across the Vrilix network, one that could potentially heal the old wounds and pave the way for a genuine partnership. With the consent of his Vrilix counterparts, he began to reconstruct the memory, intertwining it with his own experiences of cooperation and peace among diverse human cultures. This was no small feat. Every detail had to be crafted with precision, each emotion tuned to resonate with Vrilix sensibilities. Leo worked tirelessly, weaving elements of trust, curiosity, and mutual respect into the fabric of the memory. As this new construct took shape within the network, it began to pulse with a life of its own, spreading through the Vrilix consciousness like a healing salve. The effect was immediate and profound. Across the nexus, Leo could feel a shift in the emotional currents, a lightening of the collective burden, a tentative hope beginning to sprout. The Vrilix, experiencing this altered memory, found within it a new perspective on their interactions with not just humans but all other species they had encountered. Emboldened by this success, Leo proposed the next step, a real-time interaction between Vrilix leaders and human diplomats, facilitated by the emotional bridging technology he had helped refine. This meeting, carefully orchestrated to reflect the principles embedded in the new memory, would be the first of its kind, a true blending of minds and hearts across species lines. As the preparations for this historic meeting began, Leo remained at the heart of the operation, his own emotions now a powerful conduit for change. He was no longer just a mediator but a symbol of the potential for unity in diversity. Through his eyes, both human and Vrilix, the future was being rewritten, one emotional thread at a time. The scheduled meeting between Vrilix leaders and human diplomats was to be held aboard the Harmony, a spacecraft that orbited Earth, neutral territory for all parties involved. The ship was a marvel of engineering, designed not only to accommodate human needs but also to adapt to the varying environmental requirements of multiple alien species. Its halls were filled with representatives from various human governments and Vrilix clans, each with their own hopes and apprehensions. As Leo guided the participants through the Harmony, he explained the unique features of the ship, areas where gravity fields varied to suit different species' comfort and chambers that could simulate a multitude of atmospheric conditions. His voice, once unsure in the presence of such alien wonder, now carried a confident tone, resonating with the collective pulse of the diverse gathering. Upon entering the main conference room, a large, circular chamber with a transparent dome that offered a panoramic view of Earth below, the representatives took their seats around a holographic table that projected data and images into the center. Leo initiated the session with a brief overview of the emotional bridging technology, emphasizing its role not as a tool of surveillance but as a facilitator of empathy and understanding. As the meeting progressed, each side shared their histories, cultures, and visions for the future. The Vrilix, through Leo's translations, expressed their deep-seated anxieties about other civilizations, rooted in ancient conflicts that had shaped their worldview. In response, human diplomats recounted their own tales of war and peace, highlighting moments where humanity had overcome its divisions to forge a stronger, more unified presence in the galaxy. The dialogue was not without its tensions. At times, old grievances surfaced, threatening to derail the proceedings. However, Leo's presence provided a stabilizing influence. His ability to convey not just the words but the emotions behind them helped soothe ruffled feathers and mend misunderstandings. Midway through the conference, an unexpected challenge arose. A faction of Vrilix, skeptical of the proceedings, launched a minor psychic attack, a ripple of doubt and fear meant to test the humans' resolve. The room tensed, with several diplomats experiencing a surge of unease. Leo, sensing the shift in emotional currents, quickly intervened. Using the bridging device, he broadcast a wave of calm and reassurance throughout the room, countering the psychic disturbance with a palpable sense of solidarity and trust. This act of defense turned the tide. The skeptical Vrilics, witnessing the effectiveness of emotional integration firsthand, began to reconsider their stance. What followed was a remarkable scene, a spontaneous sharing of fears and aspirations between the skeptics and the diplomats, facilitated by Leo's empathic translation. This exchange not only diffused the tension but also enriched the dialogue, providing all parties with a deeper understanding of the stakes involved. Encouraged by this breakthrough, the conference moved towards drafting a set of principles for ongoing cooperation. The agreement, tentatively named the Harmony Accord, outlined steps for cultural exchanges, joint scientific ventures, and conflict resolution protocols. Each provision was crafted to ensure that the emotional bridging technology was used ethically, enhancing mutual understanding without compromising individual autonomy or sovereignty. As the meeting drew to a close, the representatives, now more allies than adversaries, stood together to observe Earth through the dome. The planet, with its swirling clouds and vibrant landmasses, served as a poignant reminder of what was at stake: the chance for a peaceful coexistence in a universe where such outcomes were all too rare. Leo, standing among them, felt a surge of pride and hope. The bridge he had become was now a conduit for something greater than himself, a future where two species, once strangers, could look upon each other not with fear, but with the promise of friendship and shared destiny. As the Harmony drifted silently in its orbit, it was clear that a new chapter in interstellar relations was just beginning, one that Leo had helped write with his very being. As the delegates departed the Harmony, their minds were awash with the possibilities of the new alliance, the agreements inked less than an hour ago still fresh in their thoughts. Leo remained behind, his duty as a bridge not yet concluded. He turned his attention to the aftermath of their groundbreaking dialogue, focusing on solidifying the fragile trust that had been established. His next steps involved liaising with both human and Vrilics technical teams to set up the infrastructure for the emotional bridging technology on a wider scale. This system was to be implemented at various diplomatic points and research facilities, designed to facilitate deeper interspecies collaboration and prevent misunderstandings that could lead to conflicts. The tech was delicate, requiring precise calibrations to ensure that the emotional transmissions were clear and unobtrusive. As Leo worked, he pondered the dual nature of his role. He was both a part of the process and apart from it, a unique node connecting two vastly different networks of thought and existence. His own emotions had become instruments, tuned, perhaps too finely, to the needs and rhythms of both species. This realization brought with it a sense of isolation, a poignant reminder of the space between the notes in the symphony of interspecies relations. In the weeks that followed, the first cultural exchange programs took shape. Groups of human artists, scientists, and thinkers traveled to Vrilics-controlled space, while delegations of Vrilics visited Earth. These visits were not without challenges. Prejudices and old fears lingered, and the bridging technology, though effective, could not completely erase centuries of solitude and suspicion. One such incident occurred during a visit to a human university where a Vrilics scholar inadvertently triggered a panic among students. The situation escalated quickly, with local media fanning the flames of fear. However, armed with his bridging device and a deep understanding of both species' emotional landscapes, Leo managed to de-escalate the situation. He facilitated a dialogue that not only calmed the immediate crisis but also led to a series of educational seminars on Vrilics culture and technology. These seminars became a model for future engagements. They highlighted the importance of context and understanding in dealing with the alien, turning potential conflicts into teachable moments. The success of these interactions underscored the value of the agreements reached on the Harmony and solidified Leo's reputation as an essential figure in the continuing dialogue between humans and Vrilics. Months turned into a year, and the Harmony Accord began to show real results. Joint ventures in technology and space exploration yielded innovations that benefited both species. Trade in art, ideas, and even cuisine created a new economic boom that linked human and Vrilix communities across planets and stations. As the first anniversary of the Harmony Accord approached, a grand celebration was planned on the Harmony. Delegates and dignitaries from both species gathered to commemorate their achievements and to plan the future. Leo was honored as a key architect of the new peace, his efforts celebrated in speeches and toasts. Yet, amidst the festivities, Leo felt a twinge of melancholy. His connection to both worlds was bittersweet, as he belonged fully to neither. His role had demanded much of him, and he wondered about his place in this new universe he had helped to shape. In a quiet moment, looking out at the stars from the observation deck of the Harmony, Leo made a decision. His work as a bridge was not yet done, but he needed to find a balance for himself as well. With a sense of purpose renewed, he resolved to explore not only the outer reaches of space but also the inner landscape of his own humanity. Perhaps, in finding his own peace, he could offer a new kind of insight to the worlds he had brought together. As the stars twinkled above, reflecting off the glass of the Harmony's dome, Leo realized that the true work of building bridges never really ended. Each connection was a step toward a larger understanding, each conversation a stitch in the fabric of a more unified galaxy. With a slight smile, he turned from the window, ready to meet whatever challenges and wonders lay ahead.